Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. I'm home in the greenhouse today. I had to be home today because we were expecting some deliveries. So I've spent the whole day at home and I thought I'd make this video because if I get asked one question over and over and over, it's what compost do you use? It looks so nice, light and fluffy. Why do you sieve it? I seem to get a lot of questions about that, so I thought I'd make a video, and then once it's uploaded I can use that as a point of reference for other people asking the question. I can just post a link and all the questions should be in there. So the first one is actually, I'll start with the compost. What compost do you use? And here's one I emptied earlier. So there it is, the evergreen multi-purpose. I've used this for about 3 or 4 years now, but I am considering for next year going fully peat free. That depends on the price and somebody's coming back to me on that. If I can get it for a reasonable price, then I will go peat free next year. The next question I get asked is about my sieve. Now this is a cheap bog standard sieve. If you're in the UK you'll know of the company called Aldi. Maybe even if you're in Europe you'll have heard of it. And this is where I got this sieve from. I think when I bought it, it was about £5. And it comes with 3 screens. This is the largest size. The other 2 are in here somewhere. I've never used them. They're in here somewhere. And true to form, they've got lost. They'll be under a tray somewhere. But the size of this mesh, and again I'll hold it up and hopefully you'll be able to see, because I'll zoom it in for a part, and you can see that that mesh is roughly 8mm. All I'm wanting to do when I'm sieving the compost is just to remove the bigger lumps. Why is that important? Well, a number of reasons. First of all, I find that you can use compost straight out of the bag like that, not a problem, and you can sow seeds in it and it will work. But this sieve compost is finer. Now what that does is it surrounds the seeds completely, allowing the seeds to get wet, and the hard coat on the seeds can get fully wet and you get better and more efficient germination. Not to say that this doesn't work, because it does. It's just that this is more efficient. Now what I'll do is I'll put a couple handfuls in this sieve and we'll sieve it now, just so you can see how quick it is to do and what I'm taking out of this, and then I'll explain why I'm taking it out. So there we go, that's the stuff that we've got left in after I've sieved it. This is now nice and fine, fluffy and light, like all this is here. This is all nice, light and fluffy, which is what everyone's used to seeing me use. Now the problem I have with these lumps in the compost, when you've got a fine seedling, if it wraps its roots around that and then pulls against a body of compost, when you're trying to prick it out, you can break the roots. So that makes life a bit more difficult and a bit more harsher on your actual seedlings. So we'll move on from that slightly. This compost I've just sieved, I'll fill a little tray up, because what I've got is over here, I've got some Celeriac seedlings. These have been in here for probably 2 months now, and they want potting on. So using the seed label, I'll just dig underneath and take a clump off, just like that. Now because this was sowed in the fine compost that is that, what we've got is a whole bunch of seedlings there and a lump of compost and roots. And what I can do now is just shake the extra compost off. I'm just gently holding on to the bottom of the stems and the roots all at the same time. You can shake them off, and what you can find you can do now is these seedlings just pull apart. Nice and easy. So they're separate. There's the roots, there's the plant. All I've got to do is make a little hole in there and that's potted on. Now you try doing that with that compost straight out of the bag, you're not going to get that same result. You can get it, and you can wash this stuff off under a tap or in a bowl of water, but this is just so much quicker. You've seen me there sieving the compost, how quick that is. You see me there filling up this tray and shaking the excess soil off these roots so that they're ready to plant. And there we go, I'm already putting the plants in. So it's efficient. It's better for the plants, better for the roots of the plants. You can see the nice long roots on these. And the whole process makes your life that much easier. And with celeriac are a very fine root plant. Now look, you just gently pull them apart because there's nothing there for them to hold on to. They're just growing in the compost, they're not growing around it. So that makes that job so much easier, just for the sake of sieving a little bit of compost, which takes what, 20 seconds to sieve enough to fill this little tray up with. So I know I'm planting the plants there, roots are fully intact, and the job has been made that much easier for me because of it. So that's why I do it. And there we go. There's a dozen celeriac seedlings, which is, you know, is probably all I need. Get rid of them. Nothing wrong with them whatsoever. So just sieving that compost, using the sieve, gets rid of all that muck and rubbish, which is that stuff. And all that stuff will be used. In fact, I've got a bucket full of it over here from all my sievings for the last couple of weeks. All goes in there, and I'll use that for either potting on bigger plants, or as most likely next week when I pot my dahlias up, they'll all go in the bottom of a pot that I pot my dahlias into, and it'll aid drainage. But this will still all get used, it'll still eventually end up in the soil, so it's not wasted. So while we're here in the greenhouse, I'm going to pot these cucumbers on as well. Now these were the ones a couple of weeks ago, you'll have seen me maliciously and pulling out the extra ones. 2 seeds were sown in each cell, and I've got 2 varieties there. This side on Masterpiece, they're an outside tomato, and this side of the Beth Alpha, the sort of 6-inch, much shorter cucumbers, and they're for inside. And I only want a couple for outside and a couple for inside, so spare plants will be given away. But I did have 2 in each cell, and I hoiked out 1 to leave 1. You can see they've grown on really well. So you've got to be careful with cucumbers, and you want the plants finally to be at the same level, the final soil level of the plant. There we go. So I shall water them, and they'll grow on lovely. So these are the Beth Alpha that I'm potting on at the minute. Again, lovely root systems. And it's the same thing when you're potting on all plants really. You only want to add about 1/2 inch of soil around the plants. Any more than that and you risk drowning the plants. You risk it sitting in too much water in the pot. So this is a perfect potted on size. And if I need to, before final planting out, if these grow rapid in here, I'll pot them on again. I'm not too worried about that. But the idea is to keep them moving and keep them growing. You don't want them to stop growing because the goodness in the compost has run out. So again, rule of thumb for all composters that I apply is 6 weeks. Once it's got to 6 weeks or more, then you know it's time to be thinking about moving them on. So these will be good little plants. They're looking nice, strong and healthy. And that's the Beth Alpha, all potted on now. I'm running out of space in my greenhouse again. So there we go, I'll do the Masterpiece and that'll be done. So my peppers are really taking off now and they're trying to get out the bottom of the pot, so it's time to pot these buggers on as well. Yeah, nice root systems. So again, they just go in a pot that's just slightly bigger than the size of the root ball that we've already got in there. Again, you want to encourage the roots to come out of that into this new compost and start using it. And hopefully this will be the last potting on. But if it isn't, if they start overtaking these pots before I plant them out, then I may pot them on again. So there we go, that's that one done. And this just keeps encouraging them to grow a little bit more and keep, because I say a few weeks ago these things were really struggling, but now that they're motoring off, I want to encourage that and keep them going as much as possible. That vigour that they've got, that effort that they want to put into growing, I want to encourage them to carry on doing that as much as I can. So I will leave them on the heat of the propagating bench for now and just keep potting them on. And it'll be sometime in May when they either go down to the allotments or go down to the allotments and get planted. But for now they'll stay on this bench here, and I'll just keep watering and keep feeding them basically. But keeping the plants moving, that is key. But as you see, it doesn't take a great deal of effort or compost really. I mean, even these aubergines, I only got these about a week ago and I potted them on. These need potting on already. The roots are coming out the bottom of these. These are fast growers, and these are the grafted ones I got because my own sown aubergines this year were absolutely awful, and I think that was down to the really cold spell we had in March. So yeah, I got the grafted ones and they're motoring away. So yeah, I'll just keep the feed going in the water and we'll be right. Right, well I'm going to get on with potting on these marigolds and tagetes I've got over there, fill this big tray up. Well, that's it for this one. Look after yourselves everyone, please stay safe, and I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra now.